Thanksgiving Eve. And with Thanksgiving Eve comes a lot of things to be thankful for, like Johnny Gargano. Now, we have an update on his contract. Looks like he extended it. We're going to have all that in more details. Plus, The Undertaker today revealed a mega comparison of one current Raw superstar to Andre the Giant. We're going to jump into that. And Ric Flair talks about wanting to go to AEW. We'll talk about that as well. And we're going to jump into all of that in today's Thanksgiving Eve edition of the Top Story. Here we go. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. What's up, everyone? It is Wednesday afternoon, Thanksgiving Eve, and it is the Top Story. I'm Jose G. We got Jeremy Bennett right over here, and we got some good news here before we head out for the weekend for Thanksgiving. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe to the channel on Sportskeeda Wrestling on our YouTube. We just crossed over 23,000. Thank you so much for helping us get there. The only way we can get to 30,000 now, you guys got to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. We got a brand new show with DDP Bang! The Bro Show featuring Vince Russo and Dr. Chris Featherstone. That's going to be premiering this week only on Instagram, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Indian Standard Time, Friday morning. So a lot of stuff that's going to be dropping over the Thanksgiving holiday. So, guys, we're going to keep you guys entertained. But thank you for joining us. Let's jump into our headlines of the day. The big one for today is Johnny Gargano. We have an update that Fightful gave us today. What's the latest scoop of Johnny Gargano, Jeremy?
Fightful Select dropping some early news here this morning. Details after, of course, last night's NXT 2.0. You see that Johnny Gargano is going to be part of War Games. In order to do that, he had to extend his contract. He extended it by a whole week. His contract is scheduled to run out on December 3rd. Of course, War Games is on December 5th. And so now he has signed a 1-week extension, a 7-day extension to carry him to December 10th. Fightful has confirmed that there have been ongoing contract talks, and they are looking to gain more details along the way. But much like Adam Cole earlier this year, Gargano extending a deal to kind of be friendly, and who knows? I don't know if he's out the door or not, but if he is, this is kind of the friendly way to say, hey, let's go out with a bang. And, no pun intended for the Bro Show, but let's go out with a bang. And, we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we do have some reports from that same Fightful Select report that WWE has been aggressively pursuing and just trying to keep Gargano. He is Mr. NXT. He says that he's NXT for life. Do you believe that? Do you think he's going to resign? Is he going to stay with the company?
He was NXT for life, but is he NXT 2.0 for life?
That's true.
I don't know. I am not holding my breath because guys like him are being phased out, and he's seeing what happened. I mean, all these cuts this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, I'm, what is Gargano? Is he like 36? I think.
Yeah, right around there, mid-30s.
He's only 34. Never mind. I put some years on
mid-30s.
So he's probably wondering, am I next? And he knows there's options on the table. So, I don't know. I don't feel as strongly as I did with Adam Cole, and I was right about that. But I don't feel as strongly about him leaving as I do Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is out the door. I could see if Ciampa stays, I could see Gargano staying. But with all these releases this year, the complete revamp of NXT 2.0, obviously they want Gargano in those plans, So it's maybe. I don't know.
It's a toss-up. It really is, just because he says one thing, but then we have this whole reiteration of NXT. We obviously see where the direction is going with NXT, where they're pushing the really young talent. Last night was a great episode of NXT where we finally getting a main event men's War Games match, which is 1.0 versus 2.0. So that kind of gives you the story right there that they're phasing out the 1.0 guys and slowly putting on the 2.0 guys as the top guys.
I went out last night, and so I didn't see NXT yet. I watched half of it today on lunch break, so I got through half of it. So I hadn't seen the War Games announcement yet, but I knew about this, obviously. So I knew that Johnny was part of the War Games team. But yeah, I mean, Grayson Waller had a good performance against Ciampa to kick off.
He sure did last night. Yeah. We're going to talk about that tonight on the debrief, but yeah, he did.
He turned heel, obviously. He'd been starting to turn heel, but he kind of basically turned heel, which I think is working better than this babyface gimmick that he was doing earlier. And he had a 15-minute match with Ciampa that was great. And it was pretty interesting that he interrupted the usual
the opening intro.
Yeah. That was unique too. But I've got, like I said, I got through the first half of NXT and I thought it was really good so far. Very excited to see what are the teams then, since I haven't gotten that far on the show. What are the teams for War Games?
So for team 1.0, we have Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, LA Knight. Yeah. And hold on, I have what was the last guy? The Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, LA Knight, and Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay.
So that's team 1.0. Team 2.0 is Grayson. Then we got Tony D'Angelo. Then we got Carmelo Hayes. And then we got Braun Breaker.
I was gonna say Breaker better be in there. Yeah. Okay. I know the women was pretty cut and dry outside of who was the fourth because Zoe Stark is hurt, and I didn't get to that point yet. But I'm assuming Kaylee Ray, is she the replacement?
She is. She's actually going to be the fourth for the women's team on NXT's War Games. Yes.
Yeah. And I had fully assumed that Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai were going to team up like weeks ago, so that was pretty obvious. But
that's one thing. I mean, compared to the Survivor Series build-up, they're already doing a much better job at building up War Games.
We got hair versus hair, hair versus hair.
Like this episode last night, we're going to cover it extensively tonight on the debrief. Was a very good episode because it really built up a lot of stuff for War Games.
That poker game was the shits, but at least this hair versus, at least they're going somewhere now with it. So
we get a payoff. At the end. Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on to our second story here. The Undertaker making headlines again. And it seems it's usually this time of year, usually at the end of the year. Survivor Series is synonymous with the Undertaker. But today there was an interview on The Bump where they picked his brain and talked a little bit about the history of his character and talking about other big men in the business. And he compared big old Omos, the Colossus from Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles' bodyguard, to Andre the Giant. Unbelievable comparison. Some people in the world of wrestling are screaming and yelling, "How dare you compare him to Andre the Giant, one of the greatest of all times?" But Undertaker actually makes a really good point. What's up in this story here, Jeremy?
So on The Bump here, Undertaker talking says, "I'm trying to find where my niche in that aspect is because I think I'm a natural mentor type. I love being I love when I'm in venues, I look around at the guys and people come pick my brain. I really enjoy that and talking philosophy. Then there's people that I watch from home that I want to, get my hands on and say, okay, you're doing great, but think about this, and try to help them move along. So I'm trying to figure out what capacity moving forward there. I definitely feel like I want to be involved in talent development. And that's when he's talking about coming to find a new Andre the Giant. And he goes, yeah, that's the biggest thing for him. He says, it's funny that you mentioned him because I'll say this, there will never be another Andre. So all them haters that are up at arms can just shut up there. I mean, he's just doing a little comparison. But this guy is as close as we've come. I mean, that's a big statement. Absolutely. But he's special. The big thing for him to know and realize is that he is special and he's different from everybody else. There's nobody, the average size of a wrestler in general is smaller than what it was, but here's a guy that's incredibly athletic, incredibly huge. He's a big, strong man. It's important for him to make sure that he protects that. Ryan, sometimes you guys don't understand what that means. We've had a couple of conversations about what he should do and what he shouldn't do. And if things get too heated, give me a call. So guy's got a direct line to the dead man. He's got a direct line to one of the greatest wrestlers of our generation in AJ Styles. So the guy's got all the tools that are to set him up to be a superstar. And I think you saw the beginnings of that at Survivor Series in that 25-man battle royal.
Absolutely, man. I think the Undertaker was pretty much spot on, and he even said it right before he made the comment that this comment might be a little controversial and some may not agree with it. But I think he makes an excellent point because there will never be another Andre the Giant. He is, what was it, the sixth wonder of the world at that time, or the seventh wonder of the world, the seventh wonder of the world, and it was a big deal at the time. Now,
or was he the eighth? Is there seven? He was the
maybe
eighth.
It might have been the eighth because
there are seven. There's 7 wonders of the world. Andre's 8. China's 9.
China's 9. You're right. You're right about that. Okay, thanks for the correction. But when he's comparing this and he's talking about this new generation, we haven't seen anyone like this massive like Omos in a long time. There's been big guys, 6'9", 6'10". We're pretty much accustomed to seeing that with Kane and Undertaker, Braun Strowman when he was still wrestling. But Omos, he's nearly 8 feet tall. That's a big dude like that. And not only he's a big dude, he's strong. Like he is built. So I think the Undertaker has a good point when he's making that comparison. And you know, when you're working in the ring and you're a big guy, you got to protect that character as much as possible, especially being a big man, only taking big risks, not taking a lot of bumps. And they're doing a good job with Omos. And I think Omos is taking some of that advice that he's gotten from the Undertaker. And you know what? If he's getting an issue, he can call him directly. He's got that number.
Who are we to doubt the Undertaker too, by the way? Who
exactly.
are we?
Exactly.
Who are we?
The people online that are saying, how dare you just even challenge that? Like, I'm just, yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in smile. Not in smile.
Yep, exactly.
All right, man. Let's jump into our third story here of the day. Ric Flair making headlines again. More than likely, this is to continue promoting his Uncensored podcast.
Yeah, do you think that he's trying to do that?
Oh, dude, because ever since he started the podcast or relaunched it last week, he's just been bad-mouthing WWE, trying to get headlines to get people. And you know what? It's working because we're talking about it. But now there's a talk about that he will never want to work with WWE and he wants his legacy to be remembered by AEW. What's the story here from Fightful?
Basically, Ric Flair is saying on his Woo Nation podcast that he has no respect for Nick Khan and wants Tony Khan to be the one to celebrate his legacy. Lengthy quote here, but he says there are no discussions with AEW at all at this time. He told Vince McMahon that his word is pretty much his bond unless they do something really stupid to me, and then I will never, ever go back to work for the competition. Now they have done some really stupid stuff, so the door is open. He went on to say, if you take me off the opening of the show and take off the Woo, which I own, thank God, they'll never get it back. Replace me with Ultimate Warrior, a guy that sued the company, held them up for money. I'm guessing the next thing they're going to do with me is make a DVD saying how many people are saying how bad it was, like how bad I was, like they did the Warrior. So I guess he was talking about the whatever that little documentary against the Warrior they had way back in the day. He went on to say that I text Vince, no worries, but you're not going to do it. You're not going to bring me back. Not going to be. They want not that they want me by any means, but I could never work for Nick Khan in my entire life. Vince McMahon I could work for, but Nick Khan, who's the guy that orchestrated taking me off the show, I've got my facts together. Orchestrated taking the Woo off, never in a million years. Well, the big difference between Tony Khan, Tony respects me, as does Vince. Nick Khan has done. I talked to Vince now. I got no problems with Vince. He just knows I won't come back.
Man, so it looks like that bridge might have been burnt
Yeah.
between WWE and Ric Flair. Not a surprise there, but
Woo!
just throwing them under the bus, man. This is the second week in a row that we hear some headlines from the Woo Uncensored podcast, and it looks like he's got a serious gripe with the WWE, especially the way that they did him at the end there. In that dark side of the episode, playing right from hell really didn't help his case. But I mean, what's WWE to do? I mean, immediately when that episode came out, social media started screaming and yelling, wanting to cancel Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So WWE, the global media conglomerate that they are, they're just, trying to avoid all of that. They're trying to avoid all of that.
You had a smaller company in Impact Wrestling that cut ties with Tommy Dreamer over the same thing. So
Yeah.
and he really, I mean, he didn't say anything bad. He just defended Rick when he probably shouldn't have. It wasn't like he said anything controversial or anything. He just defended Rick probably when he shouldn't have in that. And JR is saying maybe JR thinks there was some shady editing going on with that whole thing too, to make them look bad.
I mean, editors do create magic and can make a certain narrative go one way or another.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there was, some intentional editing to make Rick look bad on that episode. So I mean, who knows? I have no, proof to show that, but he might be onto something.
Yeah. Well, what's done's done. So.
Well, guys, before we head out for this extended hot Thanksgiving holiday, we want to say thanks to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And on this Thanksgiving Eve, I want to find out from every single one of you that watches us every single day, from the diehards, what are you thankful for this year in wrestling? What are you thankful for? Are you thankful for the fans being back? Are you thankful for all these stars that return to wrestling? What are you most thankful for? Jeremy, we've been doing this now since almost the beginning of the year, you and I and Kevin. We've talked about all these different stories that broke out, and we've talked behind the scenes. What are you most thankful for this year in wrestling, my friend?
I would say I'm most thankful for being a part of this. I started being a part of this with our year-end little review show with God, who was on that? I think it was you and Rick and Denise.
Salcedo, myself, and Rick. Yeah,
that feels like ages ago, because that was at my previous residence as well. And so I'm most thankful for being a part of this team, getting and continuing to grow into the top story, from just being filling in for you guys to just being a part of it every day now. And I have a lot of fun. I look forward to basically get right off of work at my other job, but I work from home, and just move one desk over and enjoy the 30 to 40 minute or 30-minute conversations we have every day, man.
Same here, man. I'm very thankful to be able to produce this and bring you guys all these headlines and stories that are going out every single day. The cycle never stops, but we never stop either, guys. But we're so thankful for all of you guys that tune in every single day to watch the headlines here on the Top Story, that tune in every single day to watch the results on our YouTube channel, to watch the Vince Russo shows, to watch the Dutch Mantel shows. We're just very thankful that you guys spend that time with us. I'm very thankful for being able to do this on a daily basis. I don't know a lot of people that can say I report wrestling from home for work. And exactly. I'm very thankful for that. So thank you so much for that. And guys, this weekend, be safe, eat as much as you can, but don't overdo it. Don't punch people in the line while you're waiting in line at Walmart for Black Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Keep it civil, keep it nice. But as always, even if you're in line and have your phone out and you're watching wrestling, you have to do the most important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
It is enjoy wrestling. Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you
next week, turkey? Where's my turkey? Yeah.